It's afibrillation is what it is. He got me on blood thinners and blood pressure medicine. Doctor told me, he said he can repair it, but he said he's got to find out if it's one problem or is it two problems.
Do you have any other health conditions?
No, sir. Diabetes. Other than that, I think, it's
Prior to the court revoking your bond, had you committed any new violations of the law?
no, sir, not at all. Just worked every day.
And you're telling the court that you maintained sobriety for about a year from March 2nd, 2024 till March 18th of 2025?
March the 4th, the last day I had anything to drink.
Okay, March 4th.
Yes,
Okay. And then I know you had court on March 18th, and then you had court again March 20th of this year.
yes, sir.
And the court revoked your bond on the 20th,
They
right?
did. They
Okay,
did.
so you had nothing to drink between
No,
that time at all?
nothing.
And what about since you've been in jail? I know it's more difficult, but I know things happen. Have you done anything in jail?
No, sir, nothing.
Okay, any desires?
No, none at all.
Is there anything else you want to share with the court?
Right now, I really don't know what to say to the court. I mean, I'm very sorry for everything what happened and everything I have done in my past. I'm very sorry for that. I'm kind of trying. I'm really trying to change. First thing is that alcohol. I got to just continue to just say no. As long as I stay away from that crap, I think I'm in good shape.
Your Honor, I have no further questions.
All right, Mr. Willoughby, you may cross-examine.
You did pick up another charge while some of these were pending. You got like 3 in a row, right?
I did.
And that's why we revoked your bond.
It is.
And you said something, you said, I've never hurt anybody,
I never hurt anybody. No.
but one of the charges you're convicted of today, you pulled a gun on your daughter and her boyfriend and their child.
She wasn't even nowhere around. Her boyfriend was kept.
How would you know? Because hang on a second. How would you know? Because when the police showed up, you were passed out on the porch.
I was not passed out on the front porch. They kept saying I was passed out. I wasn't passed out.
Okay, well then what were you?
I was
Were you
sitting on-
sober?
I was sitting on. I wasn't sober.
Officer
No,
Perkins,
I was
you
sitting on
move
the
that
front
microphone
porch.
toward
You're
you.
gonna have to.
I was sitting on the front porch, just sitting there, playing on the telephone.
So you didn't pull a gun on your daughter?
No,
The- But
I
that-
showed. When I was walking out the house, I did pull the gun out of my pocket and showed her boyfriend. I told him because he kept reaching in his pants and pulling up like this, and I felt threatened. So I went upstairs and got my son's pistol. He had a pistol there on the refrigerator, so I went up there and got it.
So none of these guns are yours,
No, it belongs to my son.
but he was dead.
No, it's my other son, Jeremy.
Was he living with you?
He's in and out.
He just left guns there?
So I didn't think nothing of it. I mean, yeah,
Well, you're a felon,
yeah.
so you should have thought something of it.
Well, he probably didn't think of it either. I wasn't thinking anything of it. Because I figured it's in the country. I didn't think anything about guns or anything like that.
So they weren't your guns, they were your kids' guns, but you knew where they were.
Yes.
What were y'all even arguing about?
I'm not even really sure. I mean, I was told my granddaughter is what it started off with. I was told my granddaughter. and
How old is she?
Like 2. And he said, he kept saying, you drop her, I'm going to drop you. I'm going to drop you, old man, stuff like that. And
Was
I'm
he
like,
worried you were gonna drop her because you were
no,
intoxicated?
yeah, that's what he was. He was afraid I was going to drop his daughter, my granddaughter, and he kept saying, "You drop her, I'm going to drop you, old man." And it just one thing led to another, and I just told him I wanted him out of my house. And
Did
that's
it have
how
anything to do with him being African American?
that's how all this stuff come down. Just him. I'm talking about, you drop her, I'm going to drop you, and one thing led to the next.
So you're saying it's his fault?
I'd say, well, I can't say it's his fault. All of us are sat in there drinking. I say it's my fault. I mean, I was a straight dumbass, for saying this. But
But you sitting up here and
if I didn't invite him or her to my house that day just to come over to the house and drinks, would none of this stuff it would never happen. Never happen.
but you invited the cops over the next time and you showed them you had a gun and you're not supposed to.
Well, that's because my house got burglarized.
Okay. That doesn't mean that you're supposed to have a gun, does it?
Well, that means, no, I'm not supposed to have a gun. He just happened to look behind the door and there's a gun.
Oh, so he got lucky and found out you were
Yeah.
breaking the law.
Yeah.
But that's his fault too.
Well, I'm not saying it's anybody's fault.
You called them out there. What were they supposed to do?
It's for a burglary charge.
I know. But what were they supposed to do? Not investigate it?
Well, if they wanted to investigate that, they investigated it.
Sure.
Okay.
And guess what they found?
A gun.
Yeah. And you're a felon.
Yeah.
I want to go back to this whole, you never hurt anybody, but pulling a gun on your kid. and
I
then-
didn't pull it on my kid.
You just said you did so.
I did not pull it on my daughter. I pulled it on her boyfriend. One
Okay.
was threatening me. One was reaching in his pants, acting like he's got something in his breeches.
What's a gun made to do?
Well, if he's got one in his pocket, I
What
want
is
one
a
in one in
gun
mine.
made to do?
Shoot?
Yeah. At whatever, right?
Yeah.
To what happens when you shoot it at something?
I have no idea.
You have no idea. A bullet comes out the end and something on the other end gets hurt, right?
I wasn't planning on hurting anybody. I just want him off my property. That's the only thing I wanted, him off my property.
Did it have anything to do with him being black?
Nope. Sure didn't.
It's just, you've got a kidnapping charge and you're sitting here talking to God every day or whatever. It's just hard for me to pretend like whether or not you think you're justified in doing it, if you would have pulled that gun out and shot him.
I wasn't planning on shooting him. I didn't want him shooting me though. I didn't know why I was in
Did he
his
have a gun?
pants. Huh?
Did he have a gun?
I think so.
Cops didn't
He
find
may
one.
act like he did have one. Once he left, I have no idea what he did with it.
So it's his fault that he didn't want his drunk father-in-law holding his 2-year-old daughter.
Yeah, it started off, alcohol was the problem. It was the problem.
But you got sober when?
That hearing had a little bit of everything. Judge David Wolfe presided over the sentencing of Eric Lavoy Henderson, and what unfolded was part testimony, part confession, and part reckoning with decades of choices. Henderson, now in his early 60s, took the stand and spoke about his health, his sobriety, and his regrets. He explained he'd been sober since March 4th, 2024, and had managed to stay that way through his bond revocation and his time in jail. He admitted alcohol had fueled most of his problems, saying bluntly that if he could just stay away from it, he'd be in good shape. His demeanor was respectful and candid, apologizing repeatedly for his past and describing his effort to change. The cross-examination, however, forced him to confront contradictions. He had earlier insisted he'd never hurt anyone, but prosecutors pointed to a conviction where he pulled a gun during a dispute with his daughter and her boyfriend while holding his granddaughter. Henderson tried to explain it as self-defense, claiming the boyfriend made threatening gestures and that he felt unsafe, but admitted he was drunk at the time and that none of the guns were his. They belonged, he said, to one of his sons, left in the house despite Henderson's status as a felon. Judge Wolfe pressed him on the contradiction, noting that guns are meant to harm and that simply brandishing one undermined Henderson's claim that he'd never hurt anyone. Henderson, to his credit, accepted responsibility by the end, conceding that alcohol was at the root of the conflict and that inviting people over to drink was just dumb. The courtroom atmosphere was serious but not hostile. Henderson came across as earnest but weighed down by his past, trying to explain while still owning the role alcohol played in his downfall. The prosecution was firm but not aggressive, highlighting inconsistencies, while Judge Wolfe kept the focus on accountability and truth. What stood out was the tone, less about punishment and more about whether Henderson's words of sobriety and regret could be trusted against a long record of poor decisions. It was a reminder that sentencing isn't just about the charges. It's about credibility, history, and whether the court believes someone can truly change. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.